If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. We are starting on page 141. In a couple of days, says Pedrocito furiously. That is what they all say. And furthermore, striking an incredulous hand to his forehead, I suppose that you would like to eat sitting down. Why, yes, says Fanny, grinning. If you could arrange it, that would be nice. At a table, no doubt? Andy stares at Fanny as though he simply cannot believe his eyes. Well, I would, yeah, like a table. Ah, but good evening, senorita, Pedrocito now says and smiles at me. It is for her I do it, you know, he informs Fanny. It is clear that you do not feed her properly. He leads us to a table and sits us down. And now, no doubt, he scowls, you would like 2 margaritas? Caught me again, says Fanny, and he and Pedrocito laugh, and Pedrocito disappears. Fanny takes my hand in his. Hello, he says. I say, hello. I don't want you to feel bad about what I said to you before. You a fine, tough chick, and I know. Hadn't been for you, my brains might be being splattered all over that precinct basement by now. He pauses and he lights a cigarette. I watch him. So I don't mean that you did nothing wrong. I guess you did the only thing you could have done. But you got to understand where I'm coming from. He takes my hands between his again. We live in a nation of pigs and murderers. I'm scared every time you go out of my sight, and maybe what happened just now was my fault, because I never should have left you. Alone in that vegetable stand. But I was just so happy, you know, about the loft, I wasn't thinking. Fanny, I've been to that vegetable stand 100 times, and nothing like that ever happened before. I've got to take care of you, of us. You can't go everywhere I go. How is it your fault? That was just some broken down junkie. Some broken down white American, Fanny says. Well, it's still not your fault. He smiles at me. They got us in a trick bag, baby. It's hard. But I just want you to bear in mind that they can make us lose each other by putting me in the crap. Or they can try to make us lose each other by making you try to protect me from it. You see what I mean? Yes, I say finally. I see what you mean, and I know that that's true. Pedrocito returns with our margaritas. We have a specialty tonight, he announces, very, very Spanish. And we are trying it out on all those customers who think Franco is a great man. He looks at Fanny quizzically. I suppose that you do not exactly qualify, so for you, I will remove the arsenic. Without the arsenic, it is a little less strong, but it is actually very good. I think you will like it. Do you trust me not to poison you? Anyway, it would be very foolish of me to poison you before you pay your tremendous bill. We would immediately go bankrupt. He turns to me. Will you trust me, senorita? I assure you that we will prepare it with love. Now watch it, Pete, says Fanny. Oh, your mind is like a sewer. You do not deserve so beautiful a girl. And he disappears again. That cop, Fanny says. That cop. What about that cop? But I am suddenly, and I don't know why, as still and as dry as a stone with fear. He's going to try to get me, Fonny says. How? You didn't do anything wrong. The Italian lady said so, and she said that she would swear to it. That's why he's going to try to get me, Fonny says. White men don't like it at all when a white lady tells them. You a boat full of mofos, and the black cat was right, and you can kiss my butt. He grins, because that's what she told him in front of a whole lot of people. And he couldn't do crap, and he ain't about to forget it. That's right, he says, and smiles again. Oh, wait. Well, I say, we'll soon be moving downtown to our loft. That's right, he says, and smiles again. Pedrocito arrives with our specialties. When two people love each other, when they really love each other, everything that happens between them has something of a sacramental air. They can sometimes seem to be driven very far from each other. I know of no greater torment, no more resounding void, when your lover has gone. But tonight, with our vows so mysteriously menaced, and with both of us, though from different angles, placed before this fact, we were more profoundly together than we had ever been before. Take care of each other, Joseph had said. You going to find out it's more than a notion. After dinner and coffee, Pedrocito offered us brandy, and then he left us in the nearby empty restaurant. Fonny and I just sat there and sipped our brandy, talking a little, holding hands, digging each other. We finished our brandy. Fonny said, "Shall we go?" Yes, I said, for I wanted to be alone with him, in his arms. He signed the check, and the last check he was ever to sign there. I have never been allowed to pay it. It has been, they say, misplaced. We said goodnight and we walked home, with our arms around each other. There was a patrol car parked across the street from our house, and as Fonny opened our gate and unlocked our door, it drove off. Fonny smiled, but said nothing. I said nothing. The baby was conceived that night. I know it. I know it from the way Fonny touched me, held me, entered me. I have never been so open before, and when he started to pull out, I would not let him. I held on to him as tightly as I could, crying and moaning and shaking with him, and felt life, his life, inundating me, entrusting itself to me. Then we were still. We did not move because we could not. We held each other so close that we might indeed have been one body. Fonny caressed me and called my name, and he fell asleep. I was very proud. I had crossed my river. Now we were one. Sharon gets to Puerto Rico on an evening plane. She knows exactly how much money she has, which means that she knows how rapidly she must move against time, which is inexorably moving against her. She steps down from the plane with hundreds of others and crosses the field under the blue-black sky, and something in the way the stars hang low, something in the way the air caresses her skin, reminds her that Birmingham she has not seen in so long. She has brought with her only a small overnight bag, so she need not wait in line for her luggage. Hayward has made a reservation for her in a small hotel in San Juan, and he has written the address on a piece of paper. He has warned her that it may not be so easy to find a taxi. But he has not, of course, been able to prepare her for the stunning confusion which reigns in the San Juan airport. So Sharon stands still for a moment, trying to sort things out. She is wearing a green summer dress, my mother, and a wide-brimmed green cloth hat. Her handbag over her shoulder, her overnight bag in her hand. She studies the scene. Her first impression is that everyone appears to be related to each other. This is not because of the way they look, nor is it a matter of language. It is because of the way they relate to each other. There are many colors here, but this does not, at least at the airport, appear to count for very much. Whoever is speaking is shouting. That is the only way to be heard, and everyone is determined to be heard. It is quite impossible to guess who is leaving, who is arriving. Entire families appear to have been squatting there for weeks, with all their earthly possessions piled around them. Not, Sharon notes, that these possessions towered very high. For the children, the airport appears to be merely a mere challenging way of playing house. Sharon's problems are real and deep, since she cannot allow these to become desperate. She must now rely on what she can establish of illusion, and the key to illusion is complacity. The world sees what it wishes to see, or, when the chips are down, what you tell it to see. It does not wish to see who, or what, or why you are. Only Sharon knows that she is my mother. Only she knows what she is doing in San Juan, with no one to meet her. Before speculation arises too high, she must make it clear that she is a visitor from up the road, from North America, who through no fault of her own speaks no Spanish. Sharon walks to the Hertz desk and stands there and smiles, somewhat insistently, at one of the young ladies behind the desk. "Do you speak English?" she asks the young lady. The young lady, anxious to prove that she does, looks up, determined to be helpful. Sharon hands her address of the hotel. Sharon hands her the address of the hotel. The young lady looks at it, looks back at Sharon. Her look makes Sharon realize that Hayward has been very thoughtful and that he has placed her in a very respectable hotel. "I am very sorry to bother you," says Sharon, "but I do not speak any Spanish, and I have had to come here unexpectedly." She pauses, giving no explanation. "And I do not drive. I wondered if I could rent a car with a driver, or, if not, if you could tell me exactly how to get a taxi." Sharon makes a helpless gesture. "You see," she smiles, and the young lady smiles. She looks again at the paper, looks around the airport, narrowing her eyes. "One moment, señorita," she says. She leaves her phone off the hook, swings open the small gate, closes it behind her, and disappears. She reappears very quickly with a boy of about 18. "This is your taxi driver," she says. "He will take you where you are going." She reads the address aloud and gives the piece of paper back to Sharon. She smiles. "I hope you will enjoy your visit, señora. If you need anything, allow me." She gives Sharon her card. "If you need anything, please do not hesitate to call me." "Thank you," says Sharon. "Thank you very much. You have been beautiful. You have been beautiful." "It was nothing, Jamie," she says authoritatively. "Take the lady's bag." Jamie does so, and Sharon says goodnight and follows Jamie. Sharon thinks, "One down," and begins to be frightened. But she has to make her choices very quickly. On the way to the town, she decides, because he is there, to make friends with Jamie and to depend, or to seem to depend, on him. He knows the town and he can drive. It is true that he is terribly young, but that could turn out to be a plus. Someone older, knowing more, might turn out to be a terrible hassle. Her idea is to case the nightclub, to see Petro and possibly Victoria, without saying anything to them. But it is not a simple matter for a lone woman, black or white, to walk unescorted into a nightclub. Furthermore, for all she knows, this nightclub may be a whorehouse. Her only option is to play the American tourist, wide-eyed, but she is black, and this is Puerto Rico. Only she knows that she's my mother and about to become a grandmother. Only she knows that she is past 40. Only she knows what she is doing here.